So I'm Michael Casha. I'm a 24-year-old young carer for my brother David. So my brother David, who I care for, is probably the happiest person I know, and I try and be happy. And people say that I'm, like a bubbly kind of person, and that's my personality. But when I kind of stand next to him, I kind of feel a little bit low because he is like joy wrapped up with like pretty wrapping paper, and I don't know. He's just this really happy, caring person, and he's always the centre of any party. And if there isn't a party, he'll make one. And he's just always happy, and it makes everyone else happy. It's kind of infectious. I've been a carer for my brother for as long as I can remember. And in the early days, when I was 4 years old, obviously I wasn't strong enough to lift him or anything like that. So a lot of it was, to be honest, just like playing games with him and chilling out with him. But as I got older, I started taking on more responsibilities. So, in my late teens, I was able to start talking to medical professionals and doctors, and filling out all the fun Centrelink paperwork, things like that. But that's obviously a lot different to what I did when I was younger. So that kind of role changed throughout it. A lot of young carers do, or are more mature. They seem more mature and they are more mature, and I think it's because of the responsibilities that they have growing up. I think it's fair to say that a lot of young carers, or a majority of young carers, face things that most other young people don't have to. And a lot of people kind of say you have to grow up quicker. And it's clear because of the caring responsibility that you have for your sibling or your parent or whoever else you're caring for. So there's a huge array of challenges that I think young carers face, and for me, I think the biggest challenge wasn't caring for my brother, which you'd probably think was the challenging part, but the challenging part was more the perception that I had as a carer to the kind of the outside world and to people who didn't understand who a carer was and how important they are and how important the role I played at home was. So for me specifically, for instance at high school, I found it really difficult to explain to teachers that I may not have that piece of homework, even though it's only a double-sided A4 piece of paper. I may not have it done in a week because my caring role is unpredictable. It may have seemed straightforward. I may have not arisen an issue straight away, but when it came to the deadline and the due date, and I came in and I said I didn't get it done because my brother wouldn't get to sleep last night, and my parents needed a break, and I was up all night. They couldn't understand that. I think growing up, if there was more awareness for young carers, it would mean less trying. It would mean me not having to explain myself all the time and trying to understand what it was to be a young carer. Like, it's strange that as a young person I had to figure that out, and no one kind of told me. There was quite a few years I didn't even know I was a young carer. I only found out because I met another young carer, and then I kind of realised, okay, this isn't normal, but this is what a young carer is. So for me, if that awareness existed, it would just reduce all the unnecessary challenges. There are so many challenges already for being a young carer, but you can kind of understand it. That's just a challenge, and you face it, and you can't change that. But what you can change is the challenge of people not being aware, and if they were, then you wouldn't have that challenge. So it would have been a little bit less stressful as a carer. So going through the process of understanding who I was as a young carer, meeting other young carers, going through that and realising how bloody awesome carers are. Well, let's be honest, they're awesome. I'm not just talking myself up. I think young carers are just incredible. A friend of mine recently called young carers undercover superheroes, and that name has been playing in my mind so much recently because I think it's perfect. It's a great summary of who young carers are, because they're just average people. We're just average people, really, who take on extraordinary roles. And we do that with such with happiness generally, and we do it because we care for the person that we're looking after, and we just genuinely want the best for them. So I think undercover superheroes, because you don't know who they are or where they are, and they're generally not screaming out to the world about what they do, but when they go home and you stop talking to them, they're doing extraordinary things.